At this moment, the wedding between Sanji and Pudding is underway. Meanwhile, Luffy's group has devised a plan to disrupt the wedding ceremony and take down Big Mom. However, Katakuri, with his future-seeing abilities, anticipated their moves. He attempted to assassinate Sanji, but Sanji managed to dodge the attack. Suddenly, a multitude of Broly's transformed animals, disguised as Luffy, emerged from a giant cake. This was part of Luffy's plan to create confusion. As the chaos ensued, Big Mom, seeing her cake collapsing, began to angrily scream, demanding to know where Straw Hat Luffy was. Luffy promptly responded, shocking everyone by revealing his presence to Big Mom. In her rage, Big Mom decided to attack Luffy, but to everyone's surprise, Katakuri intervened and captured him. Katakuri had seen Luffy's intention to destroy the picture of Mother Carmel, and he planned to deal with him. Jinbei swiftly rushed in to rescue Luffy, leaving Big Mom astonished. Big Mom then demanded to know why Jinbei was doing this, and he responded by saying that he was leaving her crew to join the Straw Hat crew. Big Mom, however, imposed the condition that Jinbei must leave half of his lifespan behind as the price for leaving her crew. Jinbei agreed, but when Big Mom attempted to take his lifespan using her powers, it failed. This was because Jinbei wasn't afraid of Big Mom. He declared that he was a member of the future Pirate King's crew, shocking everyone present. Infuriated, Big Mom launched an attack on both Jinbei and Luffy. Suddenly, someone shattered the picture of Mother Carmel, shocking Big Mom and causing her to lose control. It was revealed that Brook was the one who broke the picture. With Big Mom losing control, Beiji realized that their plan was succeeding. Meanwhile, Sanji was attempting to rescue Pudding, but he was stopped by Big Mom's third son, Daifuku, who could summon a genie lamp to attack. Sanji's family was captured by Parasparo, Big Mom's eldest son, who had tricked Sanji's father into acquiring the biological weapons of Germa 66. Beiji noticed that Katakuri was heading towards Luffy, so he intervened to block him, allowing Luffy to continue the plan to assassinate Big Mom. Beiji attacked Katakuri with his gun, while Luffy was trying to run towards Big Mom. However, Oven, Big Mom's fourth son, intercepted Luffy, and Brook stepped in to hinder him and help Luffy. Luffy pressed forward, but Katakuri continued his pursuit. Despite Jinbei's interference, Katakuri managed to catch Luffy. Thinking everything was under control, Luffy held up the shattered picture of Mother Carmel for Big Mom to see, causing her to lose complete control and release her conqueror's haki, knocking everyone present unconscious. Fortunately, Luffy's group had prepared for this by covering their ears. Sanji immediately rushed to rescue his emotionless family, while Beiji realized that Big Mom was weakening and brought out his cannon to attack her. However, Big Mom regained her composure, recalling her past with Mother Carmel, and her consciousness prevented the cannonballs from touching her. Beiji recognized that the plan had failed and signaled Luffy's group to leave. Meanwhile, Caesar was waiting to transport the entire group into the mirror world. Unexpectedly, the mirror shattered, making them believe they were trapped. While they were being surrounded by Big Mom's children, Beiji used his devil fruit power to transform into a giant fortress cannon, and his crew launched an attack to assist Luffy's group in escaping inside. Caesar, on the other hand, was intercepted by Katakuri, who aimed to reclaim Broly from their hands. At this moment, only Nami's group remained outside, as they had been captured by Big Mom's children. Sanji realized the dire situation, and he signaled his father and siblings to come to their rescue. Germa 66 then transformed, much like the Power Rangers, gaining super speed and tremendous strength, overpowering Parasparo. As they were rescuing Sanji's family, Luffy and the entire group escaped inside the fortress. Recognizing that Big Mom was weakening, Beiji retracted the fortress and transformed back to normal to face Big Mom. As the group exited, they were continuously fired upon, but Germa 66 intervened to assist them. Caesar followed the plan to transport Beiji away, and everyone believed they were safe. Meanwhile, Big Mom was becoming furious because Luffy had destroyed her wedding cake, leading to panic among her children who knew the consequences of her anger. Recognizing there was no way to stop her, Pero stepped up to deceive Big Mom, claiming they still had a spare cake, only to realize Straw Hat had taken it. Big Mom warned him, threatening to take away his lifespan if he was lying. She immediately mounted Zeus and pursued Luffy's group, while Pero felt fearful. It was then revealed that Pudding and Chiffon had planned to bake a new wedding cake to pacify Big Mom's rage, intending to help Sanji escape. Sanji was brought into the cake-making factory, and the chefs were astonished by his culinary genius as he began creating an exquisite cake that would captivate Big Mom's senses. Meanwhile, Luffy continued his relentless battle against Katakuri in the mirror world. Katakuri used his future-seeing abilities to dodge Luffy's attacks and countered with his own moves. Despite the odds, Luffy refused to give up and continued to fight. On the Sunny ship, Nami's group was trying to escape Big Mom's pursuit. They realized that the ship was on fire, and Luffy instructed them to destroy all the mirrors. Jinbei's exceptional ship steering skills allowed them to survive a massive tidal wave caused by Big Mom's attack. As they were about to leave, they noticed that Big Mom was still pursuing them, riding on a candy construct created by Pero. Carrot, angered by Pedro's sacrifice, charged at Pero, but he used candy to immobilize her. Back in the mirror world, Luffy, despite being overpowered, stood up once again to continue his battle with Katakuri. Realizing the ship was in danger, he smashed the mirror connecting the two worlds, leaving himself isolated with Katakuri. In the cake-making factory, Sanji worked tirelessly to create a delectable cake for Big Mom, while on the Sunny, Nami and her group faced the relentless pursuit of Big Mom. The battle between Luffy and Katakuri raged on, with both fighters refusing to back down. Because Nami had unwavering faith in her captain, Luffy could confront Katakuri without any concerns. In this pivotal moment, Nami's group advised Luffy to create some distance so they could strategize their gathering plan. Unfortunately, Katakuri took advantage of this opportunity and swiftly apprehended Luffy by shattering the mirror in his hand. To avoid revealing his distress to his crewmates, Luffy had to stifle his screams by covering his mouth. Katakuri continued his relentless assault on Luffy, relentlessly kicking him to the ground. Admirably, Luffy endured every blow without uttering a word to prevent his comrades from worrying. Still, he managed to muster a smile and reassured his group, saying, "I will catch up with you guys quickly." This statement bolstered their spirits as they departed. Meanwhile, Luffy struggled to rise to his feet, and Katakuri recognized the depth of his determination. Consequently, Katakuri drew his trident to confront Luffy. On another front, Broly eagerly reminded Luffy that Katakuri had never fallen on his back since birth. Overwhelmed by Broly's excessive chatter, Luffy impulsively attacked her, but Katakuri swiftly intervened, issuing a stern warning. Luffy found himself consistently thwarted by Katakuri, who declared, "You can never land a hit on me, Straw Hat, because you have no future." Despite these challenges, Luffy continued to counterattack relentlessly. At this juncture, Katakuri employed his advanced haki, allowing him to foresee Luffy's moves and maintain his relentless assault. Yet, Luffy, puzzled by Katakuri's ability to predict his every move, pressed on with his attacks. During this exchange, Luffy managed to grab Katakuri's weapon with his leg, narrowly evading another devastating strike. Frustrated by Luffy's unwavering determination, Katakuri decided to unleash the power of his devil fruit, the Machi Machi no Mi. He transformed the entire battlefield into a sticky, formidable Machi terrain, capturing Luffy in the process. Believing he had secured victory, Katakuri allowed his three chefs to prepare a meal while he constructed a private room with Machi to savor it undisturbed. Unexpectedly, the Machi encasing Luffy began to shift as he consumed his way out. Luffy realized Katakuri was inside the room and, inflating his fist, struck a mighty blow at it. Meanwhile, Katakuri lay leisurely on his back, munching on a donut with a wide grin. This unexpected moment was witnessed by everyone, shattering the image of the cool and composed Katakuri they admired. Enraged, Katakuri confronted those who had seen his mouth and left Luffy behind. This time, his punches were searingly hot, and Luffy struggled to defend against them. It became apparent that Katakuri was determined to eliminate anyone who glimpsed his true appearance. In a surprising turn of events, Luffy managed to evade Katakuri's attack and even countered by delivering a kick directly into Katakuri's mouth. Perplexed, Luffy still couldn't comprehend why he could dodge Katakuri's strikes. Finally, Luffy grasped the essence of Katakuri's ability. He realized that Katakuri's devil fruit was of the Paramecia type, not Logia, and that his advanced observation haki allowed him to predict Luffy's punches in advance. Undeterred, Luffy continued to pummel Katakuri, forcing him to step back and sustain injuries. Nonetheless, Katakuri adapted, transforming his body into Machi to evade Luffy's punches. He declared that his haki could foresee the future, citing his earlier carelessness for Luffy's previous successes. Determined to end the battle, Katakuri transformed his arms into colossal Machi appendages and delivered a powerful punch to Luffy. Meanwhile, Sanji's group prepared to deliver the wedding cake to Big Mom, with the knowledge that Katakuri had never suffered defeat. Sanji remained confident, asserting that today Katakuri would taste the bitterness of defeat. Luffy showed no signs of surrender, standing resolute as he continued the grueling battle. However, Katakuri's advanced observation haki made it nearly impossible for Luffy to land a hit. Luffy eventually activated Gear 4th, rendering Katakuri's ability ineffective. He struck Katakuri with a powerful punch, sending him crashing into a wall. In the heat of battle, Luffy recollected the teachings of his mentor, Rayleigh, about haki. He discerned that Katakuri's devil fruit was Paramecia, not Logia, which allowed him to contort his body to avoid attacks. Katakuri, despite the odds, persisted in evading Luffy's strikes by transforming into Machi. Nevertheless, Katakuri decided to go all out, forming colossal Machi arms to overpower Luffy. This intense confrontation reached a critical juncture. On a different front, news reached the group that Luffy was locked in battle with Katakuri, sparking concern among his comrades. Sanji remained calm, declaring that Katakuri's undefeated streak would end that day. Luffy continued to push himself to the limit, but Gear 4th reached its expiration. Forced to retreat as he couldn't use haki for about 10 minutes, Luffy fled, with Katakuri hot on his heels. Meanwhile, Luffy spotted Broly nearby and seized her, diving into another mirror without realizing its destination, a chaotic island where Big Mom was wreaking havoc in search of Luffy and her precious wedding cake. Big Mom gave chase upon seeing Luffy, and Pero constructed a candy wall to block his path. Luffy, however, managed to leap over it, with Big Mom relentlessly pursuing him. As for the wedding cake, Sanji's group successfully completed it, aiming to deliver it to Big Mom. Their plans were interrupted by Oven, who apprehended Chiffon, suspecting her of betraying their mother once more. Sanji, wanting to help Chiffon without revealing his true identity, struggled to devise a plan. To their rescue, Chiffon's father suddenly appeared, diverting Oven's attention. Seizing the opportunity, Sanji launched a powerful kick at Oven, allowing him to escape with Chiffon. Oven remained oblivious to his attacker's identity. Meanwhile, Chiffon remained unaware of her father's identity. Oven then mounted the wedding cake carriage to confront Chiffon, but Sanji acted swiftly, kicking the carriage into the air. At this critical moment, Luffy was still recovering his strength and recognized the need to grow stronger to face formidable opponents. He recalled Rayleigh's teachings about haki, understanding that facing stronger adversaries would lead to his growth. Back to Katakuri's side, he stood waiting, believing that Luffy had surrendered. Unexpectedly, Luffy reversed course and appeared before Katakuri once more. On Sanji's end, They successfully propelled the wedding cake carriage onto Beak's ship, reuniting Sanji with his wife and child. Oven, meanwhile, was determined to capture them and used his devil fruit power to boil the sea water, creating a perilous obstacle. But an old man emerged, striking Oven and infuriating him. As Oven retaliated, Chiffon remained unaware of her savior's identity, while her child seemed delighted. Oven attempted to execute the old man but was distracted, allowing Sanji's group to escape. The heated pursuit continued, as Big Mom's forces closed in on Nami's group. Jinbei recognized the formidable adversaries they faced, as Big Mom's relentless pursuit continued. Carrot, remembering Pedro's words, offered to handle their adversaries, determined to become a true warrior. As the tensions mounted, the situation remained precarious for both Luffy and Sanji's groups. As the crew gazed up at the moon, they discovered that it was a full moon. Carrot, a member of the Mink tribe, promptly began to transform. This unique ability allowed her to assume the Sulong state, enhancing her strength and speed dramatically. With a graceful leap, Carrot glided across the sea's surface and closed in on Daifuku's ship. On board Daifuku's ship, Carrot's newfound power allowed her to effortlessly defeat the soldiers, much to Daifuku's frustration. He was further infuriated when she swiped the ship's steering wheel, rendering it useless. In his fury, Daifuku summoned his genie lamp to attack Carrot. However, her speed was simply too much for him to keep up with. Meanwhile, Luffy was locked in a fierce battle with Katakuri. Despite his best efforts, Luffy found himself overwhelmed by Katakuri's superior abilities. He continuously fell but remained determined, declaring his unwavering resolve to defeat Katakuri. On the other hand, Sanji and Beak's group had a disagreement. Beak proposed poisoning Big Mom's wedding cake, but as a chef, Sanji vehemently opposed such an act. Sanji's confidence in the cake's deliciousness led him to offer Beak a taste, which immediately convinced Beak to align with Sanji's perspective. Nami's group remained surrounded by Big Mom's fleet, despite Carrot's valiant efforts in destroying many of their ships. Exhausted from her endeavors, Carrot was attacked by Daifuku. However, Brook managed to rescue her just in time, bringing her back to the safety of the ship. As tensions escalated, Big Mom once again went into a berserk rage, merging with her three homies and leaping onto the Thousand Sunny. She demanded the wedding cake and created chaos on board. In a desperate attempt to fend her off, Jinbei used his haki to block her strike, but she sent him flying into the water. Big Mom continued her assault, setting the ship on fire. Unexpectedly, Jinbei returned and unleashed a massive stream of water to extinguish the flames. He followed up with a powerful punch to her abdomen, sending her flying off the Sunny. However, Big Mom remained determined to capture them and split their ships in two. In response to the ongoing threat, Brook decided to take action. In a surprising move, he asked Big Mom if she would show him her panties, leaving everyone shocked. Taking advantage of this distraction, Brook split Zeus in two, and Nami used her abilities to electrocute Zeus, causing him to attack Big Mom and divert her attention. Although Zeus became subservient to Nami, Big Mom continued her relentless pursuit of Nami's group. However, with the help of Jinbei's skills and quick thinking, they managed to escape her grasp. Back to Luffy's battle with Katakuri, Luffy found himself continuously defeated despite his unwavering determination. However, during their intense combat, Luffy began to grasp the meaning behind Rayleigh's teachings regarding observation haki. Luffy closed his eyes and focused on sensing his opponent's attacks, eventually managing to dodge Katakuri's strikes and catch glimpses of his moves in advance. At the same time, Katakuri's siblings observed the battle, initially mocking Luffy as nothing more than a punching bag for Katakuri. However, they were surprised when Luffy started dodging attacks and withstanding the pain. Katakuri's younger sister even attempted to interfere by shooting a dart into Luffy's leg, paralyzing him temporarily. Despite the setback, Luffy managed to dodge her subsequent attack, showcasing his determination. Katakuri eventually realized that his siblings' interference disrupted the battle. Luffy and Katakuri resumed their fight, and Luffy continued to evolve his observation haki. He realized that maintaining composure was key to using this advanced form of haki effectively. Luffy's improved haki allowed him to dodge Katakuri's attacks more consistently. Unexpectedly, Luffy was ambushed by Katakuri's younger sister once again. She attempted to strike him, but Luffy dodged the attack, causing her dart to hit Katakuri instead. This turn of events surprised everyone, and Katakuri decided to end the interference by stabbing himself in the abdomen, just like he had done with Luffy earlier. As Katakuri covered his mouth, the siblings ridiculed him for his appearance. Katakuri, no longer bothered by their mockery, returned his attention to Luffy. The two fighters engaged in a serious battle, with Luffy activating his Gear 4th in his new Snake Man form. This form focused on enhancing his speed significantly. Surprisingly, even Katakuri's advanced observation haki couldn't predict Luffy's punches in this form. However, Katakuri transformed his arm into an iron mace, delivering powerful attacks. Despite the fierce battle and Katakuri's sticky abilities, Luffy fought back fiercely. At this point, the video transitioned to Sanji and Big's side. They had successfully deceived Big Mom and delivered the wedding cake to her. As Big Mom indulged in the cake's deliciousness, she fell into a state of bliss. Sanji's family arrived to support him, and they confronted Oven, who had been a threat. Sanji's siblings protected him, allowing him to escape and reunite with Luffy. However, the video revealed that Sanji had a history of mistreatment from his siblings when he was younger. Back to Luffy's side, he unleashed a barrage of attacks against Katakuri in his Snake Man form, while Katakuri retaliated with his Iron Mace attacks. Their battle reached a thrilling climax, with both fighters displaying incredible determination and strength. In a final clash, Luffy and Katakuri delivered powerful blows to each other. Luffy's punch managed to overpower Katakuri, and Katakuri fell defeated. Despite the fierce battle, Luffy left his black hat covering Katakuri's mouth as a sign of respect for his formidable opponent. The video then transitioned to the Fishman Pirates and their heroic sacrifice to protect Luffy's group from Big Mom's pursuit. They created a massive water vortex to fend off the enemy forces, allowing Luffy's group to escape. As the video concluded, it highlighted the sensational news that Luffy's victory over Katakuri had cemented his status as a future emperor. Sanji and Luffy, along with their allies, managed to escape Big Mom's clutches, and the crew was waiting for Jinbei to join them in Wano country.